The barbell row is one of the most effective exercises for building a wider and thicker back and has been shown by many studies to activate the back muscles more than other back exercises. However, many lifters do it wrong, and this not only hinders their back growth, but also puts them at high risk of injury, especially with the lower back. This is why in this video I'll go step by step to show you exactly how to perform this exercise for maximum back growth. First, let's start with how to set up the barbell row. The standard and most common way to start off a barbell row is with the bar on the floor, but some lifters may opt for an elevated rack to make the row easier or safer due to injury or mobility issues. In this video, we will follow the standard way of lifting the bar off the ground. Set your feet between hip and shoulder width and rotate them slightly outwards. The bar should lay over your midfoot to toe area. Next, firmly grip the bar with your thumbs around it. There are different ways to grip which we will discuss later in this video, but for now keep an overhand grip just outside the width of your knees. Lift the bar up while keeping your back neutral and push your hips back while slightly bending your knees. Bend your torso at an angle between 15 and 45 degrees. This range is typical for most lifters because it allows to stay within the hamstring flexibility range to perform the barbell row without rounding the back. The more flexible and experienced you are, the more parallel to the ground you can get to increase your range of motion and better work your back. Avoid going too upright as this turns the row to shrugs, emphasizing more the upper traps than the back end. And avoid going too low beyond your hamstring's flexibility range as this causes your back to round, causing a lot of stress on your lower back. Now you are ready to row the weight. Keep your head, back and hips aligned and your core engaged by contracting your abs. Lead with your elbows by driving them up and slightly back until the bar is just about to touch your torso. The grip that you decide to choose will shift the focus on your back muscles. An overhand grip that is slightly wider than the knees will enable you to pull the bar higher towards the sternum or lower chest and flare the elbows out more at roughly 45-degree angle. This will more hit the traps, rear delts, and overall upper back musculature due to the transverse shoulder extension involved and will increase back thickness. You want to avoid pulling the bar too high and going too wide to the point where your elbows are going to excessively flare out, as this shifts some of the tension to the upper traps and rear delts instead. An overhand grip with a narrower shoulder width grip will enable you to pull the bar lower toward your belly button and tuck the elbows closer to your sides. This will shift the focus to the lats due to the greater shoulder extension involved and will increase your back width. You want to avoid going too narrow as this will cause your form to be out of proper alignment and can lead to increased wrist and elbow stress. A narrow underhand grip enables you to tuck the elbows even closer to your sides and hence prioritizes the lats even more, but it does also shift the emphasis to the biceps. As lifters have tendency to choose the path with the least resistance, be careful not to rely too much on the biceps to avoid any possibility of injuring them. The choice of which of the three grips to use depends on the muscles you like to focus on the most and your comfort. My suggestion is to periodize and perform a few sets of each variation for balanced back development. In this video, I'll focus on the wider overhand grip, but note that the same steps apply for every grip variation you choose to use. As you pull up, avoid internally rotating your shoulders and rounding your back. Pull your shoulders back and retract and squeeze your shoulder blades. Keep your chest up and your core engaged to maintain a neutral back and keep your hips, back and head all aligned. Note that at the top, you may consider pausing briefly to try to add more time under tension to your back muscles. You have now successfully rowed up the weight. Now it's time to descend back down to the starting position. During the descent, avoid letting your back round or fall, and once again keep your core engaged and your hip, back and head aligned. Avoid dropping the weight as opposed to controlling the bar on its way down, as this eccentric movement can contribute to muscle growth. Fully stretch your back muscles by letting your scapula protract and your shoulder blades open up. Keep going down until your arms are fully extended to contract your triceps at the bottom before starting the next rep. This will minimize biceps involvement in the following rep, which will help increase your back engagement. And as we mentioned earlier in the video, if you have lower back strain or mobility issues, you can slightly modify the exercise by performing it off the rack and letting the bar rest on the rack after each rep. This may help reduce the demand on your lower back and better work your upper back muscles. Congratulations on completing one rep of your barbell row. Now you can continue to perform the rest of the reps in the same controlled fashion using the tips in this video. Remember to use a weight that you can control throughout the movement to maximize time under tension of your back muscles. Happy rowing!